What's going on, everybody? We're here. We're live. Welcome to a brand new Poker Live podcast. My name is Joe Ingram, aka Chicago Joey. Before we get started today, I'm going to tell you guys, check out the podcast on iTunes. Search for the Poker Live podcast. If you listen to these only on iTunes and you never get to see the videos, then I'm sorry for you guys, honestly. You need to watch one on video at least. But I understand data, etc. This week, guys, we've had Doug Polk on Monday. And we had Tristan Wade on Wednesday. Next week, we're having on the man, the myth, the legend. Bill Perkins is going to be back on the pod. I think we're going to have Dan Smith, and we're also going to have November Niner and high stakes player Wojciech Rushik. I don't know. Do you know how to say Wojciech's name, Chance?
Ruzicka.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant to say. Ruzicka. All right.
Yeah, long time, but I've been practicing.
And shout out. I was gonna do I got my team, Chance, my coaches. So my coaches said that I'm playing very on GTO if I don't find some products and companies in poker I really believe in and have that and see if they wanted to do some advertising on the pod. So I found one, a company that used to help me out, but they didn't send me in what I'm supposed to say or like a general idea what I'm supposed to say. I got the story in my mind. I just don't know what they wanted me to say. So now
what's the company?
It's I'm a Whale Staking.
Is that a real site?
Yeah, man. It's a guy named Shane Sigsby, and he's got a little team. Like, so basically what happened, they were back in Black Friday when all my money was on PokerStars, and I literally had $33,000 on PokerStars, and I had $200 in my bank account. Not GTO, obviously. I had no money, and I went on 2+2. I'm like, I need to get some staking, and he actually staked me during that time back in 2011. So they help out. I do mainly American guys on Ignition and stuff like that. So I was like, this sounds perfect right there. So yeah, but yeah, guys, we're joined today by a man who was on the podcast before, and that podcast we were together in Vegas, and we had some guests. Shout out to the Blade, Sonia Blade. Shout out to your past girlfriend, now wife, Emily. I know she's out there watching right now, and it was a little out of line, so we're gonna hope this one's a little bit more in line. I guess you could say. Yeah.
No, I had a tough Black Friday too. Actually, I had 60% of my net worth on UB.
Well, you never saw that again, did you?
Yeah, and then the most of the rest was on full tilt. I had a tiny bit on stars, and I had very little in my bank account as well. So that was a hard summer.
Yeah, it was, man. That was a crazy summer. But yeah, guys, we're gonna talk about a new thing that Chance is involved with, Chipleader Coaching. We're gonna talk about how the married poker life's treating him. He's been traveling a lot around the world. He's had some recent high roller success. We're gonna talk, of course, about the great game of Pot Omaha, which Chance is a fan of. He also did some coaching for the World Series of Poker as well. And yeah, I don't know. Let's get into it, man. Chance, what you been doing with yourself, man? I know you were just in Vegas. You opened the Chipleader Coaching. I guess we can just start off with that. Tell the people about your foray into the hashtag entrepreneur life.
We've been working on it real hard, and it's kind of looking for a platform for mid-stakes players who are pretty adept at the game and already know the game fairly well, that want to step up and take their game to the next level. So we've been working with a few guys in our beta group that we're going to start some videos and training next week. And then in the next month, we're going to let in one group of 10 players, maybe two. We haven't decided yet.
Already in the chat, Andrew Mill says, when are we going to get some good online guys on the podcast? So Chance, you play a lot of online poker as well, correct?
I have.
Right. Chance has played much high stakes PLO on poker stuff. Come on, Andrew, man. That's just one of the most.
I've played all the high stakes PLO. I've played all the biggest tournaments. In fact, in Scoop and W, we could probably compare.
I know, man. That's a crazy comment, man. I mean, if you guys don't know much about Chance plays high stakes online, high stakes live, PLO, tournaments. What don't you play? I don't know. It seems like you play everything.
I haven't really got into the mixed fields yet, but I'm thinking about learning. There's a big super stud game that runs at the Hard Rock down here in Florida, pretty regularly now, that Mercier's been playing, and there's a couple of really good games.
So you're down in Florida full time, correct?
At least for this month, and then at the end of the month, I'm going to head to Vegas for the end of GPL and 5 Diamond, and yeah, so a lot of travels.
GPL, how's that been going?
Well, our team's really great. We have Aaron Paul and managed by Maria Ho. We got Fedor, Eugene, Olivier Bousquet. So, we got a pretty incredible team, but GPL itself is a little bit lacking, a little bit of a disappointment, but maybe it'll finish strong with the playoffs or season 2, who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. So I guess Chipleader Coaching. So kind of what is the process like now? So you obviously, you chatted about this, you got about 100 applicants sent in terms of people you'd like to work with. So now it's sort of, what's it come down to now? You figuring out who you think are GTO candidates. How does that kind of set up? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, we want to find like a system, not first, but like one of the steps that we're trying to work on now is a lot of our applicants are staked by people. And so we're trying to figure out an optimal system for both them and us. Their stakers have to agree with it. And I actually have a business call, or you can call it a business call now, I guess, with some guy that stakes a whole bunch of the guys down here in Florida, and trying to get one of their guys in the beta group that we're starting next week. And so just been working real hard on that.
Yeah. I heard, I have a friend, and when me and the friend were discussing, I don't want to say who she is, but, it's a girl now. Now I said who she is. So she said to me, she's like, doesn't this seem like a bad thing for players? And I was like, I don't think so, but I'm going to have Chance on the podcast soon, so I'll ask him about it. So is there any way this is bad for the players? So how does it work exactly? The players, it's coach for profit. So you coach them and then they give you profit. You're not risking anything except your time, which some might say could be more valuable than money. But so how does that sort of work? Are the player, like, what do the players give up in this sort of thing?
Well, it's a 5% free roll of every tournament they play. And we're focusing just on live guys. And so from a theoretical standpoint, all they have to do is increase their ROI by 5% in order to make it plus EV for them. Like, we think people should see increases in the 10 to 40 range. Like, I don't think live ROIs specifically are capped. I've battled a lot with Bank of Timex actually and beat him repeatedly, because I think that with livetells and making, getting more C-bets or better river decisions, like, you can beat those like buy-in ranges that are ROI ranges that he thinks are capped. And I think that we can take on these players and really help them take their games to the next level. And I'm excited to do that.
So what kind of bang, bang. What kind of, shout out to me, what kind of, I guess, deals? So is it a year? Is it 6 months? Is it certain tournaments? Like, is this?
It's 2% or 5% up to 20K. So as long as they're under contract, and even if someone finishes the contract right away, like, they're still going to get like tons of coaching. We're going to guarantee like a certain number of one-on-one sessions. We're going to be developing a lot of content in a members area, private forum as well. And it's really coming together.
So, I mean, there doesn't seem like that much. I don't know. It seems like a pretty sweet deal for them. Can they go past that point if they make the 20? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, they can stay in the coaching program, re-sign. Like, we're definitely going to have opportunities for people who want to continue, that think that we still have something to offer them.
Okay, well, that sounds like a pretty good deal. I mean, I don't know. It sounds like a great deal for the players. They obviously get a lot better. They get better, and that improvement in their ability stays with them for the rest of their life. So if they learn, 3 things from you that they didn't know before, like, that stays with them forever. And I don't know, it seems like a pretty incredible value situation. So why did you decide to do that instead of doing standard, traditional, hourly kind of format?
Well, specifically, another thing I forgot to mention is while you're under contract, we get first option to buy. Chipleader Coaching does, and our business partners and associates, or whoever decides wants to be a part of it. And if you're selling your action to us first, like, well, we think that our players are going to crush these tournaments, and we get to invest in them and cheer for them and have sweats, which is one of the most fun aspects of poker.
I like it. Very interesting idea. I mean, technically, I already know about the idea because shout out to Johnny B. I know John, both president involved. Is he like a silent partner, or is now he's not silent anymore, huh?
I mean, he works his ass off. Like, he's probably the best business partner that a person could have. It's pretty great so far, and everything's just coming along great. So.
Yeah, big shout out to John, man. Big shout out to John. Chris says, are there lawyers behind this? Yeah, is this like a lawyer? What happens if people like they don't do it? Like, how do you ensure that?
We've had lawyers drop some contracts, and they'll be given to the players that say the terms of about 2 years, 5% up to 20K. While you're under contracts, you get option to buy at the agreed upon markups for the ranges. Like, we have a agreed upon markup for 0 to 999, 1,000 to 1,999. And like, just based on the buy-in ranges, each one's going to have a markup associated with it. Because we know that for tournament players who do sell action, it's really important to get that markup because they can have an extra X% of themselves. And so we're not trying to screw the players. We do want them to, succeed. That's one of the coolest parts about it.
So have you heard any negativity from other people in the community about this idea at all?
No, I mean, it's pretty new, and I haven't really gotten too much feedback. I have gotten the Connor Drinan was like, well, why are you coaching? Like, don't coach people, you know? And I've always been that same route, like, don't coach people, just because it makes the game harder for us. And especially from like one of my specialties is live tells. And that's one of the things that I'm going to be giving away that I don't really think that anyone who's currently coaching has the ability to offer what I can in that regard. And so I think that the live game specifically is going to get tougher.
I guess you're gonna. Does every person that they get a pair of Chance Kornuth sunglasses as well too, or is that are those just for you? How is that going to plan to work out?
Well, I think actually I've the last 3 or 4 live tournaments I've played, I did not wear sunglasses. I took the Fedor approach and chose not to. And I think that they each have pros and cons. And that's one of the things we're going to go over with our players and let them make the best decision that works for them. I think if you're new to poker and live tells, or like that's something you're starting to focus on, sunglasses are very GTO. And I think that if you're been experienced for a while with live tells, then they're not necessarily the best thing available.
Listen, every time I saw you walking around the World Series, you had these fucking glasses on, bro. So I'm like, hey, if Chance is doing it, I don't know. Is it GTO? Who fuck knows? I don't know. It could be. You know, I'm not sure.
So that first 15 seconds I was talking, it was just you like this.
Yeah. You don't have these on at like 3 a.m. when I see you, though, luckily. So like normally, in like a normal situation, you're not wearing glasses at the Aria, you know, when like everyone's very out of line.
That's when I probably need them the most.
I know, you really do probably. Yeah, you do. Maybe. I could see that, yeah. When's the last time you were in Vegas then? Recently for the recording the stuff, right? You recording those nice videos in that room. I like it. It was dope.
Yeah, no, I was there, I don't know, a week ago helping Coach Cliff for the main. So that was
JohnnyBax. You gave him one of your glasses. I remember that. Yeah. Was that so for you, don't Chance coach JohnnyBax, Cliff Joseph?
I helped coach Sean Deeb. I was actually his assistant, more of like the live tells helper for it. Sean Deeb was the primary on the spot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cliff reached out to Sean and hired him, and Sean said, hey, we need to hire Chance. Like, I think he has an element that we need for this. So that was pretty flattering and a really fun thing to be a part of.
Nice. I like that. So, I mean, who used to be that old tells guy? Mike, the FBI guy, Mike Navarro. Is that someone?
Mike Caro was the original poker guy that wrote the book, and then Joe Navarro was the FBI guy who did it.
Yes. Shout out to Joe Navarro.
I mean, I've read the books and watched the Joe Navarro stuff like many times. I'm pretty caught up on all of the live tell stuff, and I've been using them wrong for a long time back in the day, and it took me a long time to really like add them properly to my game.
Live tells, huh? You hear a lot about these things, but some people think they're overrated. Some people think they're a myth. Some people think they don't exist. But so you're a pretty firm believer that live tells are certainly exist. They're certainly there, and
yeah, they're like the greatest thing ever. Like, you can be horrible at poker, and you know, from a GTO point of the spectrum, they probably don't think about live tells. And like, I've played some hands where I've checked back hands that are standard C-bet from a GTO perspective, and ended up stacking I checked back a set on Jack 7-5 2 hearts because I knew the guy was check folding, and he turned an ace and bet called and check called a river shove. So in spots like that, like a GTO player is never going to play the hand that way, or maybe c-betting a no equity hand in a spot that you would normally just give up, but you have a lot on, you know, the guy's folding. So there's so many different like aspects you can get to, making river decisions more effectively. Just a lot of really good stuff.
That makes a lot of sense, especially if you play with some of the regulars, maybe the weaker, and you know when they're going to fold, like they do the mannerisms. They're talking to their friend Earl next to them, and they're ready to throw them in the muck. And then you, as someone who's paying attention, I mean, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah. So I guess from that point of view, do you find that some of the better players, they still have live tells? Do you feel like some people don't have many, or they use them to sort of reverse live tell? Like, how does that work?
I mean, it's very rare that I can't find a live tell on a player. Like, I've been looking for it really hard for a really long time. And I think even at the higher stakes, people have them, but they're just so much more subtle and hard to pick up on. It takes a lot more experience. But at the lower stakes, and like even in these like 5 and 10Ks, like it's amazing. It's fantastic.
Really? That's pretty. I mean, that's like something. Obviously, I don't play much. I don't play too much live. So when you think about live tells, you know, there's not really that much information out there about it for the most part. It's not like, you know, run it once. You know, Phil Galfond doesn't have the video on run it on live tells. He's got videos on being balanced in every single situation. So it's like you don't necessarily get that information on.
Well, your tweet today was amazing. It was talking about how Phil Galfond has everyone obsessed with like balance and GTO, but no one knows how to get there.
And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to explain this to you. I tweeted today. Because I started doing some coaching for PLO stuff. I started working with people with my GTO club on just different things poker related. And I've noticed all these motherfuckers are obsessed with like balance and being GTO at like 50 cent dollar, 2-4 on Bovada. I'm like, no, I'm like, dude, get that out of your fucking mind. Like Phil Galfond said, like, he's been saying you got to be balanced for the last 10 years.
Yeah, it's horrible. I mean, it's great, but it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, listen, for you to get to a level, where that starts mattering, you got to like get to the level. And these people aren't getting to the level. Like, you're not going to get to the level being like, oh, I got to be balanced against this fun player at 25 cent, 50 cent on my way up to the mid state. It's like, no, man, you don't, you think about it a little bit, sure, but don't over obsess about it and like have your obsession be balanced in all these situations and spots. And it's, I mean, I don't know. What do you think about it? Obviously, you probably agree with that then.
I actually agree. I couldn't agree more. Like, for me, it's like, if you want to learn how to like crush tournaments and exploit your opponents to the maximum and use live tells, like that's what Chipleader Coaching is all about. And it's like, we are aware of GTO. If the students in the one-on-one sessions want to talk about GTO, we'll be there for them. Like, we got that. But that is not what we're going to like be aiming for, because that's just not how you crush. It's just not.
Yeah, it seems like, all the craze these days with, kind of even what Doug's doing with upswing poker, all like the nerds or all the smart guys who are out there talking about GTO. Everything's like, you can't win if you don't play GTO. You got to play GTO. You got to play GTO. You got to play balance. You got to do this. You got to do that. Like, this is it's been this way, it seems like. And if you say you don't play that way, you're fucking awful. No, you're the worst. Look, guys, so fucking, it's just like, and you see what at high stakes PLO, you see some guys who are more on the other side of things, not necessarily on the 96 or sauce side of things. And they do extremely well at tournaments. You see the exact same thing as well, too. Maybe Nolan home cash, I can't say. Maybe it's not exactly that, but maybe I'm sure there's an element of putting your feel approach combined with GTO approach at even the high stakes online Nolan home cash games, too. So, I mean, I don't know. What do you think about that?
It's so important to balance, like, against, like, if I'm playing hands against you and you're six tabling, but like against the other fish at the table, like, I'm not going to play GTO against him. It's just totally unnecessary. And I think that's what a lot of people just forget. Like,
yeah, it's
Dietrich fast. He actually, he's like, hey, you guys late? When you starting? What's going on? But like, when he kind of finished with Doug and the private coaching that he did through him, he was like, hey, you can't tell that I'm asking you this, but I wanted to talk to you about min betting the river versus fish. And like, just from a pure conceptual standpoint, that's probably the most non-GTO thing you can ever imagine. And min betting the river versus fish is amazing. And, that's one of the things we're going to have topics and lessons on. And I think that it's optimal to do. And maybe even GTO, if you'd like to say it that way.
So wait a sec. So Dietrich asked you this in private and told you not to ask anything, and now you just said it on the pod.
Well, he's not, he's out of the Doug like stable thing and out on his own now, so I don't think
he's not in the Empire are we not? Are we not going to get shout outs to him in the okay, I didn't know he's not in the Empire.
I don't think he's in the Empire anymore. I could be wrong. But like, I really liked that, that's one of the things that makes Dietrich such a great player, is like he's able to look outside the GTO and realize that there's certain things that you need to do that aren't GTO from a theoretical standpoint, but they're still the optimal amount of EV. And that's what you need to be focusing on, is optimizing your EV at all points.
Oh, I need to get a couple guys to argue this with you, because I'm sure they could. I'm sure some guys would be like, no, that's not true, Chance. That's not true, buddy. And let me show you. And then,
let's play GTO against the guy when we're in Montreal that I have like a 2% chance of seeing once a year. Like, why would you ever want to play GTO against that guy? Like, this board texture is never going to come up again. Like, this situation is never going to come up again. Why do you need to balance? It's irrelevant. It's like, if you can get one overshove through this one time and even show it in a situation in like a live tournament, like, who cares if it's not GTO? Like, I think GTO is a much better way of life than it is a poker.
GTO is definitely a way of life, for sure. It's better at life. It's better to try to be optimal at your life and do things optimally, get structure in your life, get these good habits in your life. And I guess the same thing at poker, but I have GTO for me at life means differently than it does at poker for me.
GTO, people forget, like, they focus so much on the optimal, but theoretically optimal is different than applicably optimal. And the game, like, you can be amazing in your theory at poker, but if you can't apply it, it doesn't matter. And that's something that's really important.
Oh yeah, I mean you're basically naming all these guys on the puck and poker. They all know the theoretical right thing to do. They look at a hand, they all know what you should do, but then why aren't they don't do it though? Like,
Yeah,
everyone's these experts. Everyone's a theoretical expert on what you should be doing with your life, the way you should be thinking, the way you should be living, the way you should be playing poker, the way you should be studying poker. Everyone's got the theoretical approach down. They know it all, but then not many actually apply it, and that's a big difference.
I'm just like in a hand, and I'm like, the only way I can win is to shove, and like I know I'm getting called way too often, and like in theory it's clearly a spot to check, but in application I sometimes shove. I make those mistakes, and we all make mistakes. When you're caught up in the moment, like it's very easy to do.
Well, I mean, I know for a guy like you, it's very hard because you play 85% of your hands at a full ring table. So, mistakes are going to happen typically when you're playing 85% of hands and you're going into spots with, a backdoor straight draw with 2-3 offsuit on ace 10 king, and you're putting in 3 bets. So it's, it's like, yeah, you're going to run into some situations for sure.
That was in Choctaw. Were you there?
No, that happened. Wait a second. What?
I had 3-5 and it came to ace 2 broadways that I made the wheel.
I'm just making that. This isn't exactly my point, guys. I literally just made that example up, but I knew it sounded like a chance situation he'd be in, and he's actually literally been in the situation recently. Wait, is that the one you won the high roller at?
No, that was a while ago.
When was that one? I saw the trophy.
Which I don't know. Do I have a Choctaw trophy? Oh yeah, I won their like side events in 2K high roller thing they had like a year and a half ago or 15 months ago. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but that was a fun one.
What have you won? You won anything recently? What's been happening with you, Poppy?
Yeah, I won the Jacksonville 25K like a month ago.
Sick. There we go. Nice.
Talked it with Sam Soverall. He's pretty sick. Once we got close enough in stacks, like I had him like 10-1 at some point in chips. Heads up, and he won a couple all-ins, and I was like, oh, this guy's way too tough now. I don't want to play him when the stacks are even. And we were talking about chopping when the best bet Jacksonville closed anyway. And it was perfect timing. So I was like, oh, I get a chop, I get a trophy. This seems like a good opportunity. So
why'd you get the trophy from Sam?
Because I had slightly more chips, and that's just how they do it. Whoever has more chips on a chop got the trophy.
Oh, okay.
I thought we should have had to flip for it, to be honest. But
I mean, if they're going to give you the trophy, I mean, you're going to take the trophy, you're going to take first place, right?
If Sam said we had to flip for it, I would have said yes. But, hopefully he doesn't hear that.
Oh. Shout out to Sam, by the way. Probably watch this actually, so shout out to Sam. Yeah. I know he's like, I feel like a lot of the American guys are kind of under the radar for the most part. Like they're in the radar to some extent, like to people that play 25Ks at the Aria, but the general poker audience doesn't really know a lot of the good American players these days because they only play live and they don't play. The only thing on TV is the main event, now the 300K that's been on there, but like there's really nothing else on TV. There's no way for a lot of these guys to get exposure. So it's kind of, I find it interesting, kind of the shift in that all the really well-known players aren't really American. Even you take some of the good American players, like Connor Drynan, he's known just because that fucking aces versus aces hand, or PLP, pussy loving Pratt, man. Ain't nobody love pussy more than that guy, man. I mean, like a guy like that, I didn't give him the nickname. That's just what the nickname came.
I've never heard that nickname. I wish I would have a long time ago.
Wait a second, you've never heard the nickname? I
can't wait to see him again now. That's amazing.
People would yell by him. He got it on the first podcast. PLP.
Oh God, I can't wait.
Man, you just got to see him outside drunk, man. The name makes sense. I mean, it's not it ain't a myth, It's a
I drink with him too, but I can't wait to call him that name next time we're drinking.
Oh man, the name. Yeah, people in the chat say shout to PLP. I agree, man. Yeah, but I think the American players kind of just flying under the radar, unfortunately, right now. It's not much exposure, kind of for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some American players that are just fantastic. Like you said, Connor and Sam are like just. Sam can play with anyone in the world. He's fantastic. So he's really good at the game, good at PLO too. Yeah. Who else is kind of out there? Who else do you feel like are some of these guys who, I think I like my boy George Wolf, and I think George plays a lot of high stakes, plays high stakes cash, high stakes tournaments. Yeah, he's the most there is for sure. Right. He's like sick. I don't think maybe I had him on the pod. No one know who he is until he started talking. Then they'd be like, oh, this guy's sick. And I mean, there's Chewy. You can't forget about Chewy and Kuhn. Those guys are fantastic. Mm-hmm. But the American players, it's like you said, they travel around to everything. So it's all the super high roller guys. David Peters. Yeah, I mean, I feel even like a guy like David Peters. He's kind of a quiet guy as well too. But even him, like not super well known, especially for the amount of success he's had, and he's been playing, a lot of the higher buy-in stuff. And he ranked second on POI this year. See, I don't even know that. Yeah. her and him.
What do people in the chat say? We got oh man, we've got a rising star down there in Florida. You know who I'm talking about?
No.
We got a rising star, man. A young man enjoys, wears glasses occasionally when we see him out. Loves to dance.
Sam Pansica?
Exactly, man. Of course, man. Best a band from the World Series of Poker. I mean, hey, like he's like a rising star. He's gotten to the high roller circuits, and he's been on quite a little tear.
Yeah, I mean, Sam's great. We've been hanging out down here for a while. I think he's just, was very underrated at the time. And what was kind of funny was when I went to Dublin earlier this year, I was like, no, babe, I have to go. Like, I get to, room with Sam since you can't go, and like I get to buy action in anything he's selling in. So I get additional EV of the trip. And I got to buy a piece of him when he won the 10K there. So it was pretty fun.
Very sick, man. Speaking, so you mentioned, so obviously you're married now. You and Emily officially, shout out to Emily. I know you guys officially tied the knot. Has that been any different for you in your life now? I mean, it seems like you guys traveling. I can't keep up with where you guys, it seems like you've been everywhere these past, since I've seen you guys last, just from Snap and on Twitter and stuff.
Like not on purpose. That was the wedding hashtag because her last name used to be Ty.
What was?
Emily's last name used to be Ty, so you said tie the knot. That was our wedding hashtag.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, well played.
Oh, bang, bang. Indirect shout out to me, I guess. And yeah. Has life changed at all? Is it pretty much same as it was before you guys were officially together?
I mean, yeah, it's official now, but other than that, it's not really too much has changed. Went to this really cool dine in the dark thing yesterday where it's pitch black and we ate with our hands just because you can try to feel what the food is, and it was a really cool experience. So, we're still doing new stuff and doing fun stuff, and it's great.
Wait a second, what? You dine in the dark? So it's like a pitch black, you're eating food. How does this work?
Your server has a night vision goggles on.
What?
Yeah, and you can see the little light on his goggles so he doesn't creep you out at least. But it was cool, a really good experience. And we actually bet on each round to see who could get the closest to saying what the meal was before the waiter would tell us the food. So it was pretty fun.
These are obviously a live tell kid like yourself, you have an edge in this situation. So how were you trying to exploit the system and in the dark room trying to guess what the food was?
No, I mean, it was like a pure palate. And since you're eating with your fingers, it was what the fuck could be shaped this way? Which texture is this? For the meats, we tried to guess the protein and the sauces and what the wine was for the wine pairing. And it was cool. I would definitely recommend the experience to anyone.
What's the name of the place? Is it in Florida? I'm guessing. I'm obviously in Florida.
Yeah. Dine in the dark is common at a handful of restaurants. This place was Market 17. It's a farm to table place, and it's in Fort Lauderdale, maybe 10 minutes from our house. And they just have one private room, and it was cool because it was this giant long table for groups of 12, but they only do one party at a time. So we just had the whole dark room to ourselves, and it was a really cool experience. I'd never done it before.
What an idea. Hey, let's turn the lights off here. Okay, that sounds great. Let's turn why don't they have poker in the dark? I guess they have poker after dark. Maybe they didn't have poker in the dark. Maybe they need to make the cube dark and put it pitch black or something. I mean, I don't know, man.
For a second at Best Bet after the hurricane, I guess it was a month ago. And the dealers were just and they just covered up the well as quick as possible, and all the players were scrambling to make sure their chips were secure.
Oh, yeah, they've been I mean, that's you see Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12 when the casino, the lights go out, everyone's scrambling, grabbing money everywhere. I imagine if a casino, I don't think that happened in real life at an actual casino, but I mean, I could, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, it depends how drunk everyone is. I can imagine people getting pretty anxious.
Yeah, probably. We got my buddy Jason Moe in the chat. What's up, puppy? J-Mo says, what up, Chance? And then he said, too rich. It's exactly was my thinking when you told that story and you got the private room to yourself.
No, it was cheap, man. It's $100 a person.
Yeah. All right. We got Stannis1987 in the chat. I feel hardcore watching it live for the first time. What up, Stannis? Welcome to the show, Poppy. Jeff Rutland, Tim F. Ball Balky, Nasty Nate, my boy Nasty. Getting out there. Nasty Joe. Great question for you. From Quen19. Ask Kornuth how big his penis is.
Sorry, that's for Emily to know and you guys to not.
Hashtag how big? I don't know. Listen, Quen, if you're interested, submit a guess on Twitter, and I will independently verify. Maybe we'll get Emily to do it. And if you're close, then I don't know. Maybe work out a prize, or maybe an hour chip leader for the Chipleader Coaching, or something of that nature, Quen. So yeah, just get in touch with us on Twitter at JohnnyBax1. and chance cards. What is it?
Chances cards.
Chances cards, and then just let us know. Let me kind of know what you're thinking. So road tripper, shout out to me.
Probably closest guess, but they got to keep it private. We can tell the winner, but we don't want to tell everyone.
I mean, like you're already doing well at life. We don't want to make them like extra layer of jealousy cut from people out there knowing you're rock, knowing you whatever, man. Let's change the fucking subject here. So
don't need penis envy on top,
Exactly, man. Exactly here. So I guess coming up here, you got Chipleader Coaching. What's the plan moving forward for you? So how does that change your actual life? Is it gonna be more of you kind of sticking in one place and just grinding it out, a little less traveling, a little more homebody-ish, entrepreneurish lifestyle?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I've been working, I would say at least 6 hours a day. Every day I've been home on Chipleader Coaching, not the weekends, But I've been working super hard and still playing a little poker. Skipping some stops. Like we're not going to Prague this year, but we're still going to do PCA in Australia and then hang out in Thailand afterwards. But just want everyone that joins the program to succeed. And so in the early goings, they're going to get like a lot more hands-on experience and approach from me. And then we're going to start branching out and hiring some other guest coaches and give them little groups of players as well. But I don't want anyone to go through the program without having like at least, an hour or 5 or however many is fair, whatever we decide in the final program with me. And if they don't want coaching from me, we're going to add something in our application form that says, if you could be coached by anyone, who would it be? And name 3 coaches. And we're going to try to choose our guest coaches according to who players want.
If I could get coached by any 3 tournament players, who would they be? The young prince, Fedor Holes, of course, obviously.
You can't say the obvious. He's so high above first that you have to pass on him and say it to
Okay, that's true. You're right. Shout out to Fedor. Shout out to masturbation. Shout out to porn. The bet that we have. By the way, that's a great bet because it's helped change my life. So, but anyways,
you guys have.
What do you say?
What bet do you and Fedor have?
I'm not supposed to. I can't masturbate or watch porn for like the period of time we made it, which was months ago.
Oh wow.
Literally, you can have sex, but you can't watch porn or masturbate.
I bet you're focused when you go to the club now.
I'm focused when I get out my door. Okay. The thing is, so what I found actually though is that like the more like when you start talking to anybody now, you just like bam, you're like ready. You're ready to get after it. So it's almost better to avoid people in a way because that way you don't get too worked up. And like, yeah, like I'm serious. You talk to anyone. If you talk to anyone where there could be some potential like anything, a hangout or any interaction, you are like ready to go. You're excited. So you try not to think about them in some sort of sexual way because then you're going to be at home. You're going to be like, it's.
If it doesn't go that way, then you're just like.
Exactly. So it's exactly what happens. And then you're like, well, how crazy, like how out of line you want to be in terms of, I mean, it's. How
much did you guys wager on this?
I got 3-1, 9,000 to 3,000.
All right. So the number's low enough.
But it turns out that your life becomes really productive when you're not like thinking about like it's great. It's like you wait. I just get after it. I don't know. I don't know, man. I've studied a lot. I've been learning a lot about it, and yeah, it's a good bet. I don't want to talk about the fucking bet too long though. The 3 people, I can't talk about that. I can't answer that question. Road trip. There's too many stalkers in the chat right now who are watching this in secrecy that don't want to know that answer. So 3 coaches, who would they be? It'd probably be we can't count you, right? So we won't count you.
Oh, that was nice of you.
Thank you. Can we count Ben 86? Can we count Ben?
Can you bring the Dream Machine?
I think he might only have it for PL. I mean, he might have the Dream Machine, yeah. I actually don't know. That's a great question. Like, I'm trying to think of tournament players who I think are good, and like,
I don't feedback for me. We got to figure out, who these guest coaches need to be for Chipleader Coaching.
This is funny because like I'm trying to think of who I think are good at tournaments, and like absolutely no one comes to mind. I don't know. I don't really know who's good at Dan Shack.
I really like how Connor Drynan thinks about the game. I think Pratt's fantastic as well, but he's a little too GTO for me. He was great. Obviously Fedor, Chewy.
Yeah, TK Bluffs in the chat said Paul G's. It seems like Paul G's literally deep in every pot. Like he was deep in 50 tournaments of the World Series this summer. Like every I think he cashed every single tournament. I don't know. I don't know. You know, he grinds everyday cash. I mean, he seems like he's certainly.
You said Paul G's, right?
Yeah, Paul G's. Yeah.
I mean, he crushes all the mains for sure.
Yeah. I guess I just don't ever play with the people, so I don't necessarily know who's good, or you just hear from reputation or you hear from results. So I don't exactly know who the. I'd probably want a more aggressive player. Someone who plays a lot of hands, chance. Someone who likes to mix it up and put a lot of money in with 3-5 on ace high boards with 2 other big cards.
I mean, I can show you the way. that's definitely one of my favorites.
I'm okay. I'm not trying to play the turn. I mean, I don't know. Tournaments, there's so much glory in them. How much PLO are you playing? How much of the great game? 4 cards.
I play twice a week, actually. I play twice a week. There's a big cash game here. It's 50, 100 with 100 ante from the big, open to 500. Move your microphone.
Do they eat, sleep, PLO? Do they want,
like it's gonna help me see what's on your shirt?
It's okay. I just want the shirt. It's my favorite shirt. Eat, sleep, PLO. So, are you working on your game? What's like the process like if you're just playing in this 5100 game at the Hard Rock where people probably make some questionable plays?
I mean, that's definitely true. Sorry, I'm looking for a charger. One sec.
It's okay. I figured it out. The people I'd have coach me, William Kassouf, of course, on speech play. I need some speed play.
That's a good topic.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that in a second. Yeah, I guess how much are you actually working on your great game of PLO play?
I've actually became slightly complacent in the last 6 months. I always work really hard on it before the World Series because I think that's what some of the biggest cash is. But the game that's here is not as tough as the World Series games. So it's more about putting in hours when you play this game.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
Any other regulars playing that game we might know about? Is Sean down there and playing that?
No, thank the Lord, he's tough. But yeah, I think Jason's actually playing tonight. He plays pretty rarely. Who else is Angelko Andreevich?
Shout out to Fake Ansky. Shout out to him. I guess he's got his own name now. Okay, well, just never mind.
Angelko now, actually.
He's what?
Ansky is Fake Angelko now. If you're not from like the online player pool, I think Angelko is considerably more well known than Ansky.
I'm not calling Ansky that. And I don't even know if that's true what you just said. I don't think that can't be true. You're telling me Fake Ansky is bigger than real Ansky. What do you like? Wait, how?
Like if you take Americans.
Okay.
If you ask only American, like I think you're absolutely right. It's not even close. Ansky still crushes online. But if you take solely Americans, I think people are going to know Angelko more than Ansky.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
it makes sense because
like I've battled heads up live with Ansky. Angelko came to my bachelor party, so you know I really do like them both a lot. But I don't know.
I mean, I like them both. Both of them are awesome. I don't know. They're both pretty fun. So
yeah, they're good people for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy. I remember when I first saw Fake Ansky. I think it was like a couple of years ago or something. I was like, man, what the fuck? I was like stunned. I was like texting him, who's this guy? Looks like Ansky. I was like, I just don't get it. Now there's like a fake Tony Gregg that I saw this summer at the World Series as well. Like he took been working out. Fake Tony Gregg works out a lot, man. That guy's like.
Are you talking about Dom?
Yeah, Dominic. What's his last name? Mosley. Yeah. That guy's like a.
He's a good friend of Andy's. He plays in the game I'm playing tonight, the PLO game. So it's me, and then Jason will play Angelko, Dom, a couple of business guys who are just freaking hilarious. Like it's, as far as work, it is absolutely the most fun form of work that I do. Like it's, 7 hours of just making fun of each other and having a blast, and some guys stuck.
How much you up, kid? Let's be honest. Let's cut the shit, okay? How much you up?
enough to become complacent on learning my PLO game.
Yeah, it's such a fun time. We just go there, we're just laughing, singing, throwing some beers back. It's like, okay.
I lost 2 sessions in a row, bro.
Yeah, okay. You're on a down. I'm sure you're on a downswing, right? I get it. You're like one of those kids online who's like, they're always on their PTR career peak, and you're like, how's things going? They're like, fuck, man, I'm on a downswing right now. You're like, what do you mean you're downswing? The poker table ring says you're at a peak. He's like, yeah, but I lost earlier today. I'm like, no, come on, shut up. Like, shout out to table ratings. I'm sure a lot of you new guys don't know what that site is, but that used to be my favorite site.
Oh yeah, that was the bread and butter for the bum hunters back in the day. It's to search everyone on that.
I remember I went through I was like a man at pizza. I was like, I was all about the fast PTR, put the names in there, and I would just look up people for hours. Never mind. Let's not get into that.
Well, I'd be curious too. I'd be like, why? Like, you just go through the people. It's like, wow, he's got a top hat.
Yeah, you'd be shocked. You'd be like, that guy's up $1 million. You wouldn't know. And then they had the comments on there too. And I used to just battle in the comment section, like on everyone's profile. It was just,
that's great.
Man,
yeah, that guy's up $800K, fucking $1,000 at a time. Like, this guy just crushes.
Right. You're like, how's that guy's graph not go down? I don't know. How is it just straight up for 7 million hands? You never lost it. Just.
Shout out to Emily.
Yeah, I'm laughing at you guys in the bedroom. You're great.
Mamacita. What's up, Emily?
Ollie, come here.
Nice to see you again. When's the last time I saw you guys? Summer sometime? Probably summer. I don't remember much of the summer. I know I saw you in the summer. Shout out to that. But what do? I guess we definitely probably saw each other out some of those nights. Yeah. I can't think about this.
Ollie wants to be on camera.
Wasn't the dog on the last podcast?
Yeah, this guy comes everywhere with us, man.
Yeah. Hello, dog.
Nah, he's the best. We got lucky when we adopted him.
Speaking of adoption, you gonna have any kids? That's great. Okay. Thinking about having a child now? You getting a little half Asian, half white child out there, and get him into poker. Him and Sean Deeb's kid they can play poker together.
I think we're gonna start trying in about a year. I'm not sure the exact timing yet, but we talked about it, and it's not gonna be immediate, but it's not gonna be too far off either.
I love when people, like the married people, they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna try to have a child," and you're like, "Congratulations, you're gonna try to fuck a lot and get a kid." It's such a great. You're like, "Oh, okay, good luck." You know, good luck, man. Hey, hope you find that right one. Yeah, good luck though, Chance. Whenever that happens, man. I've thought about this a lot, and like the perfect poker baby. What I don't even know if it has any American in it, which is unfortunate because that means me and you are kind of out. But hypothetically, if we were gonna, I have some German in me, so I have a little Fedor kind of thing going on there. But what countries would you have to fuse together with to find that right poker specimen baby?
My guess would be probably like Chinese German. Get the work ethic and the German and all of it.
I'm always on Asian. I'm not sure which Asian country though. I think Chinese could be the good one.
I'm biased to Chinese, so.
What'd you say?
I'm biased to Chinese as far as the Asian countries.
Oh yeah, that's true. Shout out to you. Mine is Scandinavian plus Russian plus Chinese.
You know that if you have an orgy, it doesn't have like more than one trait from the orgy.
No. You can find. I've done research. I'm not just saying this from an uninformed, unresearched standpoint, Chance. I've looked up people, and these people exist. You can find a Chinese Scandinavian who has some Russian in them living in Norway.
Oh, okay. So we can pick a myriad of countries. I thought it was like pick two and go from there.
No, so ideally they have all these combined in them already somehow.
I gotcha.
Yeah, and I think that would make. I don't know. I mean, listen, online poker is kind of dying, unfortunately. So, I don't know. Do you even play much online outside of the trips outside to the USA for W Coop and Scoop and stuff like that?
No, I mean, I enjoyed Scoop and W Coop in Montreal. I go up there with like Deeb and Sam Panzica, Kevin McPhee, and it's been really fun. Like with a good group of guys. And other than that, I don't really see the value in leaving the country to play online poker. If I didn't have a cash game, here to play, I might play in Vegas with the 25Ks and hire like more bigger games more frequently. I don't know. Like it's kind of tricky. I think that poker is definitely slowing down. Like I wouldn't ever recommend poker as a new profession, but if people who are already in it, I'd recommend doing the best you possibly can and finding other sources of income.
So if someone said, I want to start playing poker, you just even if they're playing some live, you'd be like, probably shouldn't do it?
I mean, if someone was already into it, I think it's one thing. But if they just decide, like, fresh out of college, they're like, I want to be a professional poker player, I'd be like, it's not the easiest thing to do anymore. Like, it was so easy when we started. Like, how old are you?
22? 9, what was it, 9 years ago? 9 or 10 years ago I started playing, yeah. 21, 22.
Years, man. Like, Chance's card has been dead for 5 years, and I started, came around initially 10, 11 years ago. Like, it's crazy to think like how long we've been doing this already.
Right, and then you got to think, especially, so you're competing with other people who've been doing this for this long. Like, you have some of these guys that are playing even the small stakes, no only cash games online. And I'm not saying that's going to make them better. You certainly can get better than them, but that's going to make it pretty hard to break through when you have guys that have just been playing for 10 years. They're just like, this is how they make a living. They make their 50K, 60K, whatever it is, and like they're fine with that.
I think there's 2 key factors that make it like incredible, like so much more difficult to like start from nothing in poker now. Is the rake is much higher, and the number of like the pro to fish ratio is much higher than it was back in the day. So it just makes it so much harder to move up. It takes you longer to move up. It's harder. Like the variance is greatly increased because your win rate's smaller. Like it's not easy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I feel something saying this, but I guess if you're gonna play, you should probably play tournaments.
I think there's a reason that when you think about all the people who used to just absolutely crush like high stakes cash, like Ben 86, Jungle Man, like if you just pick all of these like elites, like now when I go travel for Scoop and W Coop, they're in every $700 or 1K that I play, and I'm like, I mean, I guess I used to play high stakes cash too online, but now it's like, why would you really want to play 100, 200 PLO online? It's like, yeah, you can have an edge in some spots, and like it really is fun to battle some of these rakes sometimes. And I actually played 4 tables heads up, 25, 50 deep, I think, versus Dolitos, when I was on W Coop. And it was fun. Like, I enjoyed it. I lost like 40K in like an hour. And actually, like, I think it's hilarious is like, I don't think, like, it was 3-handed, and it was me, him, and Phil Galfond. And I don't think Phil Galfond was winning in the game. Like, no way. He's just so tight. And it's like a deep ante game, which is so crazy to think that like one of the original crushers probably was never winning in his 3-handed game. Like, I'm not sure that I was. Like, I think in 3-handed Bolitos with the positions as they were, like, I think I'm fairly certain that Bolitos was the only winner. And then I was like break even or losing small, but I think Mr. Sweets was going to be the like loser in that lineup. So it was like really interesting to see.
Well, you kind of just explained the benefit of not being American, which Bolitos, I believe he's Dutch, and he plays all the time. He doesn't take breaks. He doesn't come back to the United States, and he's not playing for periods of time. So that's a big edge, especially as the games are developing so fast, the strategies develop so fast. You have Bolitos that's who's playing with other good players, getting much, much better, faster, and you have maybe someone like you come back and you're playing in the fucking private game at the Hard Rock playing 5100. You ain't getting much better in the private 51. You're making a lot of money, debatably, but you're not necessarily getting better. Whereas you play against a guy like that, he's just been doing this way for a period of time.
There's a reg in the game, in the private game, and when I first started playing the game a few years ago, like he was impressed. Like I thought he was by far and away the second toughest player in the game, and it's a couple years later, and I think he's regressed so much. So I'm sure my PLO game has regressed. Like I used to work on it like every single day. Like I used to review hands, study theory, charts. Like I was great at it at one point. And now I think that I'm just good. Like I think that I could, beat most games. I can beat all the live Vegas games. But if I was to get put in a 6 max PLO deep lineup, I'm not sure I could beat 5 of the best online players in the world anymore. And I used to think that I was one of the best, like top 10. So the game has changed so much. Like there's so many people who are a lot better than they used to be. It's great. But
yeah, I mean, it's just like it's kind of like
high stakes tournaments where people have live tells and big soft cash.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes sense. It's to be still competitive. Like you understand the kind of work and focus you probably need to put in, and you're getting older. You want to do other things with your life. You don't necessarily want to probably just that's not what you really want to dedicate 10 hours a day to, thinking about PLO, working on your game, focusing on it all the time. Like it's probably just it's eventually you gain other hobbies, you gain other things you're interested in doing.
I mean, when poker was like my sole thing, like back in the day, I literally would eat, sleep, PLO. Like your shirt says it all. I mean, that's such a perfect description of it because, I mean, you really have to, like Malcolm Gladwell talks about like the 10,000 hour rule and like the thing that people have similarities that are like fantastic at them or elite, if you'd like to call it. And all of those similarities are like work. And like putting in the hours and sleeping, drinking, doing it constantly. And I think it's to be at the elite level of anything.
Yeah, it's kind of, I was, I was writing something the other day from my site, One Poker Life shout to me, and I was writing about qualities. I'm trying to basically think, when I do stuff with the GTO club and I'm thinking about, expanding that and working more with people, is like, how can I take the qualities and traits that I've gained over these past years getting good at poker? Like, how can you teach them to someone else if you can? And which ones can you teach? And then two, how can you apply those same characteristics and qualities and traits to your life, to getting better at anything? Because obviously, getting good at poker, you get a lot better at a lot of different things, a lot of different areas. And one of the things you just mentioned about the 10,000 hours book and work, and I mean, I think that was the biggest thing. Eat, sleeping, and playing PLO is just that obsession, that one-track sort of mind in a way where you're just so obsessed with it that like that's all you see, that's all you think about, that's all you want to do. You don't even want to do anything else because you're just nothing's distracting you.
Yeah.
And
when I used to like play online constantly, and like part of the day would be learning, part of the day would be playing, like I would literally dream hand histories. And John Ray, like he was like PLO pick pro, like he's pretty good at pretty great at PLO, and we've always like been one of the people I talk hands with. And I was like, hey, let me ask you about this hand I dreamt about last night. Because like legitimately, like we could remember the hand history in depth of like the stack depths, the stake, what the hands were, what the suits, and like it's pretty crazy to think, but like you don't have the word dream on that shirt, but you need it. Like it's pretty wild.
Yeah, if you haven't dreamed about poker hands, one, probably for the best, and two, this is what I've been thinking about. And so do you think that it's possible to become really good at PLO, to be consistently making money? Obviously, tournaments, you get a score, it's a different story. But do you think that it's possible to not be obsessed, but still become a consistent winner and just do really well for an extended period of time?
I think that one of the things that I've like struggled a tiny bit with in life is like balance. And so when I do something, it's like almost to like, I wouldn't say OCD, but like, I really do want to do it like all the time. Like with this Chipleader Coaching thing, it's just like I'm working as hard as I can on this one aspect, or like content development, and seeing which next wave of students we want, which coaches we want to see if want to be a part of it, and just all these different aspects. And I think that if being balanced and like working out and doing this and doing that is difficult, and you almost have to keep like a good schedule to do it. And it's definitely not one of my strengths, but I think that it is important.
Chance, you just said one of the biggest things I've changed in my last 2.5 months of my life, my friend. I got a theory I call the on-gun theory, which is that if your life's not structured, or if your place isn't structured, your life isn't going to be structured. If your habits aren't structured, it's going to be hard to get any structure in anything you do. I was the same way, man. I basically revolved around the clock sleep schedule for 8 years. I'm sure you've been there for sure. So it's like, and I realized that it's so hard to get in these habits of even going to the gym, diet, all these things, unless you have some sort of structure. And poker didn't give me structure, that's for sure, man. It gives you it almost rewards anti-structure in a way when you're playing some of these weird hours at the higher stakes games, even online or live. You're rewarded for playing 4 a.m. shorthanded against a fun player who's tired and drunk, and that's when your BB per 100's big. Like that's you got to be playing that spot.
I remember a week when I was like playing tons and tons of hands, and I was waiting for this one fish to come back on one of the sites that started with a B, but not Bovada or Bodog. It was after Black Friday, one of those sites that you can kind of play on. Kind of irrelevant, but I was waiting for this guy named Jay-Z, and he played 200, 400, 300, 600 PLO, and he was just like spectacular. And I would fall asleep with my computer next to me and the volume turned all the way up, and wake up to this guy sitting from the beep, and all I wanted to do was play this guy. I mean, it was like you said, you would get rewarded at 4 a.m. because your volume was on your computer.
Right.
Like it was wild.
That's awesome.
But that's definitely not like the part of my life that I'm in now. Like I'm looking for a little more structure, and a little more family.
Future child. I'm sure Emily likes it to hang out with you instead. I mean, I guess maybe it's good to have a little break, that separation as well too. Not always be by each other.
Sometimes when we're not together, it has its pros and cons, obviously, but the benefit is like you're excited to see each other. So like people who are together 24/7, 365, you're never going to be so excited to see them again because you're always together. And I think that excitement has its appeal.
I don't know, bro. I never seen you not excited. I gotta be like, I'm gonna be honest about this. I never, like, more than a good amount of time, I've never seen you not excited. I've never seen you not happy ever. I swear to God. Even when you're hammered at like 5 a.m. at a random place in Aria, you always like have a good smile on your face. You're always happy.
After day one of the WSOP main, you know, Georgie, obviously, he's walking out and he's like, "This might be the only guy who's happier than me. He can be down $250,000 and he's got that same shit-eating grin on his face." You know, it's like I do try to, you know, stay happy. I think that it's really important.
What do you think it is? Are you something you focus on? Is it something that you adopted a long time ago, like a mindset or outlook or a mantra, or what do you think it was, or what is or was?
When it happened, but there was a time in my life where I wasn't super happy, and in fact, I lost a tournament, and I was like super sad. It was like the end of the summer. Had a shitty summer. I think it was actually the summer after Black Friday. I'm not sure which year it was. Deuce's was the Connect 4 tournament. 2 months, $2 million.
I don't remember.
But sometime like right after that summer, I actually had mindfulness coach Tommy Angelo come to Vegas and do 3 days with me. And I think I was always happy before, but sometimes I wasn't always like super, you know, the same personality. One of my downswings, I think that really helped. I recommend mindfulness coaches to anyone who has trouble with tilt or that type of thing. Like I used to meditate with like a meditation bench and pillow and like, you know, get on your knees and breathe and do that type of stuff. And now I have a more basic practice. It's just breaths and much more simplistic, but I think staying in the moment, and like the American version of the mindfulness and the practice is called the power of now.
Mm-hmm.
I've studied it from the Buddhist perspective. And I just think that like being in the moment now and being excited about what we're talking about is so important. And like dwelling and thinking about the negative is like the opposite of that. And if you can have these tools of meditation to get out of out of yourself, you know, out of dwelling, that's really important and can make your life much happier.
Definitely agree with that. I mean, I agree. Those kind of things also help have you more success at poker. You're not like, it's just, you're not negative. You're not talking to your friend. I mean, I hope George isn't watching this, by the way, because if George was watching this, he's gonna know that sometimes maybe, you know, hey, maybe once in a while, George, I'm sorry, buddy. I know you're out there busy at the Coney Dogs, whatever. You're on the ooze. It's okay. But I mean, yeah, like that's something I used to do a lot back in the day. And then that's one of the biggest things I cut out was just, you know, stop like ranting to your friend. This fucking got aces. I 4-bet him. He called me and I flopped the nut flush draw and he beat me, stacked me for 175 big blinds. I lost, you know, now I'm down 7K this session. So, you know, like getting rid of those moments, getting rid of that looking back and like having it ruin your day for 10 hours or 12 hours, or it sticks with you for 3 days. These downswings, these losing sessions just ruin your day. And yeah, I think like getting rid of that was something that helped me really propel me to have more consistent success and not have that, be just more happier in general.
Yeah, I was playing the big game last week here in Florida, and I don't know, I got really unlucky in like a 100K pot, and I wasn't super excited about it. I think I got set over set it, or, you know, whatever the details was, kind of irrelevant. And I got outside just to take a short break, you know, play on my phone a little bit. And this one guy who's playing like 1-2 or 2-4 limit is like, "Hey man, can I tell you a bad beat?" And I'm like, "No, I only like good beat stories." I was like, "If you put a bad beat story on someone, you can tell me that one." He's like, "That's mean." I'm like, "Bye." I just like, you just want to surround yourself with positive people and positive vibes, and like, I don't know, dwelling doesn't help that. Telling bad beat stories doesn't help.
I mean, that's definitely true. I've been thinking about that a lot, doing a lot of research, really changing my network of people I like to keep around me, the people I conversate with, talk with on a, you know, daily basis, kind of trying to get rid of those type of people. And obviously it's hard because sometimes you know those people for a long time and, you know, like you care for them, you want them you like them to be more positive, happy. When you talk to them, you feel like you take something away from the conversation. But a lot of times it's just them like just complaining about their situation or their life or what they did that day. And like, it's just, I feel like it's super draining. And I think a lot of people are probably in that situation. It makes sense, you know.
There was a poker player a few years ago who I was starting to get close with. Like, I thought he was funny, kind of fun to hang out with, but he really was just complaining all the time. And it was during the WSOP, like I wasn't having a good summer, and I was like, "You know what, so-and-so," I don't know, his name doesn't need to be said, it's irrelevant. But I was like, "When you're positive, like, you know, we can hang out." I was like, "But I don't want this." And he's like, "This is just how I am." And I'm like, "All right, well, we can hang out in smaller doses then later." You know, it's just, you know, like, I know it is kind of rude in some ways, but
Right.
you know, like you definitely have to think about your own emotions first, and like if someone around you is bringing you down, like it's hard to cut out the negative people in your life, but it's important.
For sure. I mean, I agree, man. Let me get some shots. Get some people in the chat showing some love out here. Who we got? We got a bunch of political guys in the chat. Want us to talk politics? Please shut the fuck up. Thank you very much.
We're talking politics today, actually.
Yeah. Cameron Bolton. I know you said, what's up, Poppy? But I gave you a timeout. You said the word Trump too many times. Tim F's in the chat. Who else we got? Guy C. What up, Guy C? Poppy. What's up, brother? You want to get some shout outs to anybody out here, Chance? We saw Yuri out there as well. Drive My Nuts Poker. Shout out to PLO Quick Pro, of course.
What's up, Yuri? Yeah, I think we got to give a shout out to the veterans on Veterans Day. Oh, I forgot that one, didn't you?
Do you know any veterans?
I think I got a family member or two. I also want to give a shout out to my daddy-o, Papa BWK. I think he's in your chat right now.
Your father?
Oh yeah, my father's a huge poker fan.
What's his screen name?
It was Papa BWK on Full Tilt. So me and Ben Lamb and like anyone who I was playing with like 7-8 years ago, we all call him Papa Block when we see him instead of Brian.
Does he have a YouTube name or something? What's his screen name on here?
The odds of him logging into YouTube are astronomical.
Oh, man. Shout out to Papa. My buddy Hassan's in the chat. What up, Hassan? What's happening, man? What's happening? What's happening? Chris P. McLovin, Cam Jams, I Eat Lego, 7 Nocturne 7. Who does Chance think has that positive outlook thing mastered that's well known?
Chewy. Yeah, I mean, Chewy's taking it like to the next level. Like, you know, earthy, in touch with the universe.
I actually don't know. I don't think I've ever really talked to him ever. I don't think I've ever like crossed paths with him at all.
He, like, The Zen of Poker, I think was his book. Like, he's taken the positive outlook and the Zen approach so far that it's like, I can't even describe. Like, you know, I think he's spent the last year or two or however long, maybe longer, on just being happy. And I think he definitely has to be.
You know what I found, Chance, that made me happier? Not playing as much poker. Not playing poker, not going through swings, not being stressed out, not dealing with that stuff. That certainly was a big thing that helped me. Yeah,
for sure. Playing too much is overrated. I mean, I think you just got, like you said, you got to find that balance, that right amount.
Yeah. Playing too much, I don't know. I mean, I feel like you got to play a lot to get good. Like at the same time, like I think you almost have to play a lot to just keep getting better, keep seeing situations, see patterns, and get better and better and better.
Yeah, I mean, you can work on your pattern recognition without playing poker, though. There's like programs with patterns in them. There's like Mensa CDs. You actually did a little blog thing on patterns recently, right?
I posted about pattern recognition and like how I thought it played a part for myself, because
that's how like live reads works, is pattern recognition as well. But I don't know, there's more to that. I don't want to get into it too much. I want to leave a little illusion so people can sign up and really see what it is. I don't want to give away all the live tests.
Yeah, that's why I didn't ask any questions, man. You know, I'm not people in the chat said ask him some stuff. I'm like, well, I mean, that's the whole point is for me not to ask that. That's the secret. That's the thing. I'm not gonna ask him what the thing is.
Program, like one of the things that we're sharing with them is like, hey, like specifically on this livetells stuff or these float spots or this 3-bet spot, the less people you tell, the longer it's going to work. You know, and like that's one of the problems I have in poker is like, after I win a tournament, we'll have drinks and like I'll be like, oh yeah, I own this guy so hard, he had this tell, and like, you know, but that's being humble is something that I wish I was better at, and it's really important to keep yourself like with a quiet mind. Like the Tommy Angelo approach, the Zen is like, think of your brain and your ability to process knowledge as like a pond, and when you throw pebbles in the pond, there's ripples, and it's harder to think clearly. And when you have like a quiet mind, I think it's just way better, and you're able to play your A game more frequently as well.
I love Tommy Angelo, man. That guy's awesome. I had him on the pod.
You on the pod?
And May. I had him on the pod in May, yeah.
Oh, God. I'm going to go back and check that out.
Yeah, man. He's sick. I posted something on Facebook and on Twitter the other day about, and I'm curious to get your feedback on this. So differences between small stakes, small stakes cash game players, not NL or PLO specific, versus high stakes cash game players. And I got a ton of good feedback, ton of good answers, and I'm curious kind of what you think separates those two groups of players.
I actually did see this post, and I think that the most accurate, like the best response that I saw was risk tolerance. I think that some people who just are comfortable, like, I mean, if you're grinding 50 cents a dollar, $1, $2, and you're making like between $2 and $5 grand a month. Like, I don't really know the numbers anymore. Like, you're paying your bills, you're partying, you're having fun, but you're never gonna like have enough to crush. And so I used to stake a guy, and I was trying when he was doing his own cash game bankroll, like he was smoking a lot of pot and drinking like way too much. And I was like, bro, if you save this $1,000 a month, you could take a shot, and you could take a shot every month if you just stop wasting all. Like, and you can still party, just don't do everything in excess. And like, if you take shots, you actually have a chance to pay all your bills for the year in like one session. But when you're just grinding, like you force yourself to stay in this little area of make enough money, pay bills, make enough money, pay bills. And you just, if you're not willing to risk a lot, then you're never going to make a lot. And that's the problem.
Got to agree with that one. I mean, I think there's like 25 really good ones too. And I think risk tolerance obviously is a huge one. That's something I always had a ton of. I didn't care. I love shot taking, man. It was like,
pattern recognition was my other favorite answer, I think.
Pattern recognition?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wrote about that, and I was trying to quantify it. Like, is it, how real of a thing is it? You know, can you just be good at the patterns, but like not necessarily be good like at other aspects of things that, like, say, let's just take math, for instance. Like, maybe you don't even really know the math. It's just you've seen the fucking thing. So you've seen it so many times that it's just like you just know the pattern, but you can't necessarily explain it, but you just know what it is. And when you end up in the situation, you seem to end up to make positive BB per 100 winning plays.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that can be the case. Like, I think that the more you do practice pattern recognition, the better you get at it. Like for me with livetells specifically, the more I look for them, the better I get.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like that in all things. What was that brain training website? Have you done that?
Luminosity.
Yeah. So on that one, like, there's a lot of games that you get better at the more you play them. And I don't really see how pattern recognition would be any different than that. Like, I think the more you try to see if this guy check raises the turn light or his check raising frequency is too high, like, the faster you're going to recognize it next time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I think one of the good answers was from a fellow PLO player. And he said, finding leaks in the way people play their ranges and knowing how to properly adjust yours to exploit them. And that's always something I say, is that like one of the things I do really well is just identifying where leaks in people's ranges are on the flop, on the turn, on the river. And I think that's one of the biggest differences between mid-stakes PLO and small-stakes PLO and high-stakes PLO, is that the mid-stakes PLO guys, they have a ton of leaks in these little leaks, not like anything really massive that they'd even really know. But you don't really know it until you move up, play against better players, and you start getting exploited in those spots. And you're like, oh, well, like, okay, like that's, yeah, you're just like, I didn't even realize these were things. And then when you move back down, you start playing against the mid-stakes guys, you see all those same leaks that maybe you had, and then that's how you learn. That's how you get better.
Yeah, definitely. That's why it's so important to not just bum hunt. Like, that's why bum hunters, like, even when I play online now, if I have someone as a bum hunter colored note, I'm just like, oh yes, this guy's I know exactly how this guy's gonna play.
Man, I remember when the script stuff started happening, and I saw the guys using the scripts at PLO on Stars. I'm like, these are the guys that are gonna die. Like all these guys, like you are not gonna be able to stay at high stakes if you just script, if you just bum hunt. It's not.
They don't want to battle. They want to collect. Like, they just want to sit there and collect. Like, those people never had that desire. Like, they created a script because they wanted to just find an easier way to collect.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of those guys aren't around anymore, Chance. They're not.
I know a few.
I don't know what they're doing. My buddy Adrian in the chat. Adrian Phoenix. What's up, bro? What's up? Less strippers, more shots. You better follow that own advice, bro. You ever been to Colombia, Chance?
My bachelor party was in Colombia, actually.
Which part?
The other part you couldn't think of when you were talking to Doug on Monday, Cartagena.
What's it called?
Cartagena, spelled Cartagena.
Wait a sec. So you had a bachelor. So you're with all dudes?
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that the one that like? Did George go to that? He didn't go to that, right?
No. But his good friend Adam Houdini or Harini, he got married the same day as my wife and I did.
Yeah.
And we were in New York a week later. The person who married them was our bike tour guide through Central Park. And
how's that possible?
I couldn't believe it. And he was the best bike tour guy in the world. And he just did it because he enjoyed it. And he was a cool ass dude. And wasn't even the surprise that he married Adam, because Adam's a pretty cool dude too.
Shout out to Adam, by the way. Much love to Adam.
He's a good
Detroit guy. Plays the great game of Pop plays No Limit too, I think. Right? Plays both games, right?
I've only played PLO with him. I've
Yeah.
played PLO with him.
I
A
like
lot only, I think, like for the last 5 years.
So go back to that question, the separation from small stakes to high stakes. What else do you think besides risk tolerance? Anything else like stand out completely? You mentioned pattern recognition too. Is there any other one? Maybe one other one that kind of...
I like to think that some of it's hard work and working off the felt. Like I think that some of the people who grind low stakes don't do their homework, and homework in poker is really important. That was one of the things that drew me to poker, was the fact that you can promote yourself the harder you work. And I think that it's really important to do so. You need to promote yourself too. Like those guys don't want to don't promote themselves. Like if you have a really good month and you make an extra 5 buy-ins, why wouldn't you fire those 5 buy-ins at the shot that's above you, or 2 levels above, and fire 1 buy-in? Like, I don't know.
I could think of some reasons, but I mean, I'm a big fan of that too. So yeah, like I'm
busted some bankrolls before.
I'm in love with the shot take. I'm in, I mean, like, yeah, I can believe you busted some bankrolls, by the way, bro. I gotta say, it doesn't sound surprising to me.
I mean, I was willing to fire at all points in my poker career, except for now I'm much more conservative.
So are you though? When you say was, I feel like was and by still are, I feel like they're very similar.
Well, now that I'm married, and like when I was single, I guess the thing was I could always lose it all and get staked. And now that's not really an option that I would have.
What? You can still lose it all and get staked? What do you mean?
Yeah, but now it's an option that I wouldn't be okay with.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, I mean, I'm still going to fire 50K in Bellagio with, 100% of myself, because I'm just going to play cash if I lose. And those are certain things where I think that, like, since I have had a lot of success this year in tournaments, like I sold a lot early in the year, that in the last couple 25Ks, I was like, I'm not going to sell. Like, I'm just going to try to run it up. So.
Why wouldn't you?
And like, I think that another thing that is really important when you're taking shots is risk of ruin. Like if you get over this platform where all your bills and everything's paid for below it, and well, you're never going to get all the way up if you don't fire in this area. And so in the last few years, like I fired really hard when I get over X number, and many times I've dropped right below it. But sometimes, and I know that like from a business perspective and a financial perspective, when you do get over that number, you're supposed to fire really hard because your risk tolerance is really high and your risk of ruin is really low. And when that's the situation, you need to gamble.
And then you just need the discipline to, if you lose too much, you got to change that. And I think that's what a lot of people lack, is the discipline to, once they go from that mindset to now they go to that other mindset where they're more risk averse, then they start losing. They don't know when to cut it back. They're like, well, fuck, now I lost this. I got to make it back. If I end up getting staked, or if I end up doing it this way, it's going to take me so much longer to make it back. And I like need to get back to that point. So I'm going to do this. And then they lose more. And they're like, well, I got to get back to that point. And then it goes from there and goes, I mean, this is how people are broke. This is why this is what happens to a lot of people. I mean, it's not easy. It's hard. It's hard to figure it all out.
Yeah, it's tough. And I think one of the things you can do is like take all your bills, your monthly, and if you have a year of bills paid for, and a year of life expenses and whatever you want, well, you can kind of put that as your number, and anything over that, well, as long as you don't hit that number, your risk of ruin is kind of zero. So
I got to imagine, a wife like Emily, you think her fine dining girl right there, she's a woman, man. She likes to eat some nice. Obviously, you got to take care of her shopping and at trips.
She doesn't even like to shop. I'm lucky.
Shopping, trips, don't lie. It's okay. The dog, I mean.
He gets mad at me when I upgrade my seat on flights. That's how.
No, stop it. Come on, standard. What are you talking? Come on. What are you talking? You make money to fly comfortably. Like, well, how much are you upgrading? When you say upgrade,
we should pay the $65 extra. Like, we should have the 4 inches of extra leg room. She's like, I don't know if we need it. I'm like, right.
Right. I mean,
yeah, she's very frugal, and like it's a nice balance. I'm the yin, she's the yang. So
yeah. God, really knitting up over the extra legroom on the flight. Oh, she's like short. She don't need extra legroom, really.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't have to worry about that. I don't know. I want to not worry about the extra legroom, but the extra legroom is free GTO.
I mean, yeah, I agree completely.
Man, my buddy Adrian Phoenix in the chat said, good discussion. I've been too big of a nit with stakes in the past. Yes, you have. Never going to take Isildur for $1 million like that. I mean, that's something I always say to Adrian, is that he's always been doing really well, 1-2, 2-5 at Zoom at PokerStars. And I was like, man, why don't you play? Like, why don't you try it higher? See what happens. Like, battle, see what you got. Like, just see what happens, man. You might lose. Fuck it. Come back down. Like, okay, but just see what you got. You can do. I feel like he's got the potential to get as high as who knows, man. But he's got exactly one of those guys, just not that risk tolerant to doing that. So I don't know, man. Let me take some questions from the chat, guys. Let me see what we got out there. Hero value. What's up, puppy? What's going on, bro? Guy C7 says over 6 feet equal no legroom is minus EV. I agree. You just actually brought something to my mind, guy C7, but Chance doesn't know about this because he's married. So I'm going to talk about chess strategy on planes and get your take on it. But
chess strategy?
Yeah. It's when you're seated next to a nice señorita or mamacita, and you're thinking about maybe engaging her in some sort of a chess match. Correct, on the plane.
That's smart. When I was in my single days, I definitely would try to talk to the pretty girls next to me. It's just the smart thing to do.
Yeah. I feel like there's some I don't want to talk about it. Shout out to stalkers. My name ain't Earl out there in the chat. What's up, puppy? What's happening, man? Charisma91 says, marry Sam. I only can think that means one thing, but everyone wants to marry Sam. Come on, you guys need to calm down, man. SpaghettiOs? What a sick name. More strippers, more shots. All right, calm down, bro. Jeffrey Rutland, does he have any beef with Jason Mercier? Oh, you got some beef, bro?
No, zero. We're friends. Going to his wedding at the end of the month.
I didn't know y'all had beef. I didn't. That's news to me. Do you guys go on like couples degen dates or something like down there? How does that work?
We've gone to a sports game together, but our schedules haven't been very aligned lately.
Do you wish Ben Lamb lived in Florida?
No, I'm happy he doesn't. We go too hard together. We drink all night. I love drinking and partying with the guys. One of our closest and oldest poker friends. But I am happy he does not live here.
I don't know how he does it, man. I feel like he goes out, he goes hard, and then he'll play 1,000, 2,000 at the same time. I don't know.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. He's
Ben, if you're listening, please never move to Florida.
You be gambling for sure, man.
I was there actually, doing the coaching thing for Bax. Emily had a few girlfriends come out, and so I gave them my room at the Aria and just went and stayed at Ben's because I needed the TiVo to look over the coverage and find tells and stuff anyway. But it was
he had the what was there this summer? What party? A birthday or 4th of July? What was that? Is that your birthday?
My birthday every year. June.
Yeah, that was at Ben's house, right?
Oh yeah, the surprise 30th.
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah.
Emily planned this super cool. I think I had 2 or 3 surprise birthday parties. It was awesome.
Why wouldn't you have 2 fucking 3? Get you a girl that'll give you 2 or 3 surprise birthday parties, bros, out there, man. Because if your girl ain't giving you 2 or 3, think about it. She ain't giving you 1.
Yeah, Emily's gonna start a coaching site for how to take care.
She should. Why not? That sounds pretty sick right there.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome.
2 to 3, man. That's oof. Gonna make people cry out there that they're gonna reevaluate their lives right now. Chances wives getting them 2 to 3 surprise birthday parties.
Everyone had it was my 30th though. It's different.
How rich, man. Oof. Ay, caramosa. Keelan says, my wife called me a nit and told me to take more shots. She don't even play poker. Shake my head. Wow, that's depressing, actually. Kush Strain, what does he look for in when backing? Kush Strain, what does he look for when backing?
Well, I don't back anyone full anymore. Now I'm super into piece buying, and it's just you don't have any obligation to chase makeup, so I really enjoy that aspect of it. When I do buy pieces, it could be whether it's a soft field, a good markup. Sometimes I'll buy an aggressive player that I just know can win. Buying pieces of someone who's going to min cash, half the time and bust the other half is not really the most fun version. So buying pieces of aggressive players is kind of fun too.
I think John Bopras talked about that in the video we recorded.
Yeah, the coolest thing about the Chipleader Coaching is that, like, while you're under contract, we have first option to buy, and we plan on investing in our players because we know they'll be successful, and we're going to be having a lot of piece buying through that. So I'm excited for that, the sweats to begin.
Countdown to Busto. 3 years from now, we're gonna Chance on the pod. Chance, what's happening with you, bro? Well, that turned out bad. I lost all my money back in. I mean, I don't know. You feel like I don't know. Do people are people?
I've done incredibly well. Like staking Johnny's been great, but staking others hasn't been. And my piece buying has been phenomenal. So I've really done well piece buying. That's one of the reasons I want to continue with it. But you can just look at a raw, like, how much money do I want to risk this one time? What's the markup? What do I think their ROI is? Is the difference good enough for me? Do I want to invest? And it's very simple. I really like it.
How much did you have in the main event this year?
Oh, not that much. Maybe 50, 60K, 70K.
Wow. I don't know, man. George, top big winner the last couple. I mean, I don't know. He does it, man. He's like, can't let him influence you.
He's fire, man.
I don't understand that, man.
How much is he investing in, man? Is that public knowledge?
Not much this year. Last year a lot. Not much this year though.
Yeah.
And man, I don't know. That's insane. I'm just like, really? So
2 summers ago, I bought like a lot of pieces, probably like 200K action pre-main event, and probably like 150 or more on the main event. And I was just kind of firing in like way too many spots. And that's one of the other things that's cool about the new coaching site is that, like, we are accepting these players based on their already proven merit. We're going to make them better, and we get to invest in them, and we want to invest in them. So it's kind of great.
It seems like a lot. Like 2 summers ago, a lot of people fired so hard at the main event. Like, and last summer it wasn't quite as big, just from what I've noticed, people I talked to. And I don't know why. Like, what changed? I don't know. People lost a lot of money, or what the change was exactly. But it seems like there was a big difference from what I was seeing this year.
15% decreases people's ROIs is one of the issues.
That makes sense. Yeah, with the payout structure.
So I know that was one of the things that people considered. I forgot. I was talking to another friend who discouraged me this last summer. I forgot the other reasons he mentioned.
Yeah, I'm curious what people think about that out there. Let me find a couple more questions out there. Find a couple more. So you got plans. So you're going to be staying at home. Then you go on PCA. You're going to Aussie Millions. You're going to Thailand. You're going to
Monte Carlo.
The office group. How much money are you making in this game, kid? Jesus Christ! My God, it's like a lot of happening down there, buddy.
Oh, this year's been crazy. We've been all over the place. It was PCA Australia, Dublin, and then it was Monaco, China, Montreal, New York, and then back home. And for the summer, it was like Vegas, obviously, and then Barcelona, Ibiza, Amsterdam. Yeah, it's been a cool year, man. We've had so much fun traveling around, and that's one of the reasons we're just gonna, wait to start having kids. There's still some places we want to see.
Like where? Wait, what?
Here you go. You got the map with the little dots on it. These are the places we've been.
I can't see the dots, unfortunately.
The dots are tough from the angle.
Oh, okay. It's a lot of dots.
But yeah, I came home from a trip and Emily had put all the dots on it. I was like, this is sweet. That was our goal initially, but we hadn't done it. So it's cool now we get to add a dot when we come back. So
where's the spot you want to go? Where's like that's one spot you haven't been yet that you want to go to?
Japan.
I heard White Man King there.
I didn't know if that was true, but I haven't even heard that. But I'm a huge sushi fan, and a few of my friends have gone and said it's really cool. And I don't know. I think maybe after Thailand and after the Australia trip might be a good time to check it out.
Sounds fun, man. I'm excited to follow vicariously through Snapchat and through. Well,
you better follow Emily on Snapchat if you want to get the real story. I'm very.
I think you don't. I was gonna say you don't update Snap. Do you update Snap?
I would say I have like 5 snaps a month, maybe 10.
Yeah, I think I just follow you on there actually then.
But I try to have like quality, If I'm snapping something, you probably want to see it. Like it's decent.
Yeah, some people have some terrible snap. Like they're literally like these people are just like I wish I could like mute them without defriending them because then they'll know. But
I wish so GTO snapping is obviously like a nice mix of quality and quantity. Like I'm way below GTO because I like have too much quality and not nearly enough quantity. But there's some people with no fucking quality and it's just all quantity. So the balance would be good. I
know they're but I guess it's like if it's your thing, I don't know. I mean, people, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't get Snapchat. That goes to show you how old I just don't get Snap. I don't understand it. Like I don't get the desire to be like, oh, I'm at the fucking the market with this dog like this. I just don't understand. Like I don't get it. I gotta be old. This is what they say about. This is what they used to say about Twitter, right?
Yeah. Like if something I think is really cool or makes me laugh or like, makes you like take a step back. Like those are the type of things I Snapchat. Like I'm not like, hey, let me like, here's my Periscope. You can just follow me around. Like that's just not my thing.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I used to be on it, but I mean, they say it's good for entrepreneurs, good for business. You got a brand, you got people like that whatever they're interested. It's good for that, but I just don't find it that fun to just do it all the time. But I do like following certain people. I like getting like. I'm not really a fan of checking stories. When people send me snaps, I'm like, ooh, this is going to be good. Or not another cat. Like I unfriended a friend of Emily's because it was just all cats. And I was like, no, sorry, this isn't going to work for me. Yeah, you're going to have to get her a one-way ticket to Shower City fast. Listen, you need to hit the showers with these Snapchats here. So let's take one or two more questions here. We'll end up wrapping it up. Fully81, has Chance done any of the Macau games?
I didn't get to play any of the big ones. I was there 2 years ago today, maybe two, I think. I actually went with Sam Pansica.
Best in the biz.
Yeah, I mean, he's fun. It was a good time. We were down there, played all the tournaments, some cash games. Drunkenly bought a piece of a friend that won the Best Bet Bounty Scramble of 2 years ago. And I was buying pieces with a friend, and we would basically, like, anything he would buy, I would trust his judgment. And anything I would buy, he would trust my judgment. And we'd buy the whole chunk and reduce the markup so both of our ROIs went up. And I went to text him that he had half of the guy, and I texted the wrong mark. And so he's like, no, you have all of that. Good luck. And the guy ends up winning it. So I ended up having half of the person. I would have never bought more than 25%.
Yeah, that doesn't tell you what it takes, boys, to have consistent poker success. I don't know what will. That's what it takes right there. You accidentally. How much would that person win?
400. Yeah, 400.
400 what?
1,000.
1,000 Hong Kong dollars?
No, it was a U.S. tournament.
That's just dumb. That's dumb. Why wouldn't the guy just say yes? Like, why wouldn't you just say, like, hey, yeah, I got it, sure?
He is very high integrity. Georgie knows him. I don't think you do, though.
Whoa, really? Where's he from?
Grenada.
Really? Interesting.
You have to really know him well to say that. He wouldn't say that. Anytime
you say someone, George knows someone, they're doing something. They're probably doing something on some type of level because
he's doing something.
George is a rich person, I know, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be that way for. He'll probably be that way for. I guess Bill Perkins. I guess probably hasn't beat, but. Speaking of Bill Perkins, guys, he's going to be back on the podcast next Monday. And yeah, if you just tuned in, you can find this. If you're new, you can find this on iTunes. Search Poker Life Podcast. Chance, any last parting thoughts? Check out the site, obviously. Chipleadercoaching.com, correct?
Yeah, check it out. I think it's going to be really great. And if you're like a mid-stakes player who wants to take your game to the next level or wants really in-depth live training, I think we're the site for you. Like, we invest in our players. We don't get paid up front. We take a free roll when you play instead, and we'll buy your action. Agreed upon markups. I think that it's going to be incredibly beneficial for everyone involved, including the coaches we're going to start hiring. On the application page, we're going to add a slot for, like we said, the 3 coaches, and we're going to try to get the coaches that everyone wants, other than myself, and I think that it's going to be great.
Also, you get to see Chance in a nice video with his watch on, and nice Vegas backdrop, well recorded, well edited, well cut. And I mean, if you're not going to go to apply, at least go for the fucking video, guys. Like, check the video out. Nice video.
Yeah,
well done.
150 seconds. Get in there.
I know. Jesus Edison, shout out to me. I guess, okay, last thing. Can you repeat the site? It's chipleadercoaching.com. Last thing is about this William Kassouf speech play stuff. What are the? I know you're a speech play guy. You like talking. I haven't heard you're as annoying as some might say as Kassouf is. But what's your kind of take on the speech play thing?
Well, I actually listened to you and Doug talk about it earlier today, and I think that like he nailed the dot on the head in some of the regards. It's okay to talk to someone if they're engaging you back. If the person is consciously trying to ignore you, then it's over the line. But more specifically, if it's their decision and you can maybe say something or like smile, whatever you want to do with your face or smile to try to change their mind, that's one thing. But when you're berating someone and taking it to the level that he took it up it was just way out of line. I don't think it was okay.
You speech play, right? You're a speech play guy?
No, not as much as you think. Like I get to the river and talk like a tiny bit. But I have it mapped out and I talk for a certain reason on the river. Try to figure out what they're trying to get me to do. And I don't know. I think that in spots where there's no action left is the best time to talk. Otherwise, it's a huge waste of time. Like if someone wants to engage you every time, and also like William Kassouf had the most obvious live tell every time he was strong and weak.
Don't tell him what it is.
No, I can't wait to play with him. And like I just wish that people would have noticed it because they might have actually enjoyed the fact that he was like, hey, I'm strong, hey, I'm weak. Like it was just like blatant. And I think that people would have been happy to let him exploit himself, but they just weren't really thinking about it properly.
Well, I've done enough William Kassouf talking to last me a goddamn lifetime, boys. So that might be one of the last times I bring. I mean, nah, I'm kidding. I love the fucking guy. Come on, I'm gonna bring him up all the time, man. That's my guy, William Kassouf. He introduced so many new sayings to the poker world. Like I ain't like a boss. How far to Hollywood? Marvelous. Coconuts. Peanuts. What else did he say? I don't.
Yeah, it was tough because the WSOP coverage didn't show how one-sided it was. How it'd be like someone would be tanking on the river and he'd be talking to them for 6 minutes, and it's like, the person's making a decision on the river. They're not responding to what you said. Shut up and let them think.
Yeah, can you imagine some guy talking to you for 6 fucking minutes?
It's like I'm trying to think on every street, or and there were spots where Blesnik opened aces. He flatted some shit hand. Big blind called with suited connectors. It came 9-6-3, and the guy shoved 7-8. Blesnik reshoved aces, and Kassouf tanked for 3 minutes. And someone actually called him out when he folded and was like, "I want to see that hand. What'd you tank with?" I think it was backstage. So it was like, "Oh, what'd you tank with there, Will?" And it's a pretty valid point. You were literally just wasting time. You knew that this hand would be on TV, and you're just stealing away from someone else's moment. This guy's all in with an open ender against aces. Let him have his one moment on WSOP coverage. He may never. Right. So I thought it was incredibly selfish in a lot of ways.
Amen.
So I may talk at the table. I actually talk a lot at the table, but it's not in hands. I'm trying to make sure everyone has it, myself included, has a good time during that. We're there for 12 hours. I want to have a good time. I don't think people are having a good time with what he was doing.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're ending on that note. That's it. You want to follow Chance on Twitter, Chance's Cards, chipleadercoaching.com. Be back. I'll be back Monday. Bill Perkins. Me and Doug Polk, new show coming up next Wednesday, I believe. Be our debut episode of that. And that's it. Chance, much love, buddy. It was fun. Glad we got to do it again. And I look forward to following along with Chipleader Coaching. CLC. I look forward to following on with CLC.
Yeah, I'll give you the Twitter handle for it.
Give me the Twitter handle for it, Poppy.
I have it very nearby. I should know this offhand, obviously.
This is great. Okay, now you got to get your call to actions down, Poppy.
I know. It's a CLC LDR. Or, sorry, Chip LDR.
Huh?
Chip LDR.
Chip LDR.
LDR probably stands for leader.
Chip LDR. Okay, Chip LDR. Got it. Chip LDR.
Yeah, but we'll have some good stuff, some promotions. We're going to let people know when we're starting to bring our the groups in, the people whose applications have been accepted. I'm in. Guys in the chat, I'm out of here. Peace out. Okay. See you later. Bye.